Well,
I actually don't know what we're doing here today, but I'm excited to be with you.
no, me too. Yeah, I just want to learn about your journey. I read about you and I've been on your website, so it looks really cool. I just wanted to kind of get your perspective. It's nice talking with younger people that are in the space too, and kind of how they embrace technology and different tools.
Oh
I guess
yeah.
just start from the beginning. Like, what was your journey like? How did this all start? Where you got into real estate?
Well, I was in college at Ouachita Baptist University, getting a little triple degree in management, marketing, and ministry. And while I was there, I had somebody ask if I could help them build a website for their new restaurant business they were starting. And I said, well, I don't know much about that, but I think I might know somebody who does. And I wonder if he'd be open to letting me just shadow him and see how it works. And so I found this kid. My mom used to say, find the person sitting alone and make a friend. And so I had found this kid on campus that was a little quirky, and he didn't have a whole lot of people that were in his corner. And so I was excited to make a friend. And he ended up being this like master digital marketing guru. And I was like fascinated by the things he was able to do just from his little laptop. Things that I saw just from growing up in the car business, things that I saw our family had been paying people to do, a lot of money towards, that he was able to do pretty cost effectively. And so he showed me how to build this website, and that just got me all excited. So we built this little digital marketing company called Rackley Creative, and we were helping small businesses build their websites and do digital ads and things like that. And then my family has done pretty well in the automotive industry in Central Arkansas. And so they had asked for, once I graduated, to essentially liquidate what I had going with the digital marketing. And so that I could kind of be exclusively focused on marketing the dealership. That kind of a long story behind it, but my stepdad had liquidated from the family to start his own dealership. So he was like, I want you to come exclusively do the digital, really all things marketing for this new store. And I said, okay, I'm going all in because I trust him. And so we did, and it did really well. And in fact, it did so well that he got an offer to sell that company about a year later that he could not refuse. And there was a right of first refusal in place for the family to buy back the business. And so the family honored that right of first refusal and activated it and bought and matched the terms of the deal to reacquire. And so at that point, it was kind of this like, well, I'd kind of fallen in love with marketing, and I could either go back to kind of like just going to get clients, like do websites and stuff, or I could stay with the family, but I would kind of be like go from running the entire operation of the marketing department to it's such a big dealership conglomerate that I would have been basically a glorified internet sales manager until I could earn my position back. And I was open to that, but Larry, my stepdad, had really challenged me. He's like, I think you might enjoy getting out of the car business if you can to find, really good success elsewhere. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. I'm not sure that it's like exclusively for marketing. I'd rather like do that marketing for myself. Like I want to be the product instead of like going to find other businesses to do branding for them. Like I'd love to find a way that I could do branding for me and grow a business. And so he's like, well, why don't I pay for you to go to Atlanta for a couple of days and do this Johnson O'Connor aptitude test, where you find out what are the skills and roles, responsibilities, industries that you are most likely to be energized by, have great longevity with, and success with, to be maximally profitable towards. And so I said, great. So I went to Atlanta, took the test, and at the end of the 2 days, they said, number one on your list is to sell real estate. And I was like, okay. So I called the top selling realtor in Little Rock for 40 years in a row. His name is Roddy McCaskill. He's a good old Southern boy. And I said, Mr. Roddy, this is Chase Rackley. I'm calling because I want to work with the top selling realtor in Arkansas. And I'd be curious to know, would you be open minded to mentoring me, to discipling me, letting me shadow you? And he said, well, Chase, lucky for you, I'm about to retire. And I said, let's go. So he had me on to start just really following him. He was so generous. Literally opened his books and said, here's how much I pay for this. Here's who I pay for that. Here's, how we structure this type of deal. Here's this type of, how you serve this type of client. Here's the marketing plan for this type of listing. And just really gave me an open plan of opportunity. And I was thrilled. And so I took most all that I had saved up and invested it back into, like, just absolutely doubled down on myself, really, and invested in like Google ads, Facebook ads, and Zillow ads, and quickly became the top selling team in Central Arkansas after Roddy had retired that following year. And so in 2019, I was actually the number one agent in the state of Arkansas, having sold 65 million worth of houses. And I really couldn't have done it without the team. And that's really been the big joy and focus for me professionally, has been, I love taking care of clients and I love selling houses. It's probably what I do best. But I really do love leading a team, raising up and equipping other realtors to be as successful as they want to be. And that's been the game. That's what I've been really focused on. Really since that 2019, it was kind of like okay, that was cool, but like, what's the point? It's lonely at the top unless you bring the team with you.
Right.
So that's the goal.
Right. How big is your team now?
We got 23.
Oh, wow. That's great. So,
Yeah, we're a hire slow, fire fast, slow and steady, grow the quantity slowly, grow the quality quickly. That's the goal. Like, we focus more on growing quality over growing the quantity.
so how do you guys handle biz development now? Are you still doing the Google ads and that route?
Yeah.
Is that the main source, or you get a lot of referrals? What does the makeup of your clients look like?
Yeah, I mean, the beautiful thing about, like, when you're hyper disciplined for 7 years in a row, now 11 or 12, but that, like, for 7 years it was like a nonstop grind. Like, at my family's expense, they would tell you, like, it was borderline inappropriate on boundaries of how intense I was committed to building something within this real estate career. And they were so generous to love me and support me, even though it was very, at the expense of family time a lot of the time. The message was, hey, like, now's not the time for balance. Now's the time to build. And so that's what we're going to do. And so we built. And now, after that 7 year of intense grind, you're kind of able to just naturally see somewhat of a capacity to just serve really well the people that are kind of either coming back as repeat clients or referrals. Like, we just have a strong Zillow presence with a lot of reviews. We got a lot of 5-star reviews on Facebook. 5-star reviews on Google. I think just naturally that just success breeds success. So I think it's just it's a it's a it's a problem for a lot of realtors that they'll start to do well and they see it climb, and so they coast, and then they do their volume dips significantly and they're like, oh, I got to ramp up the gas, and they do that. And so I think we kind of had the mindset of, like, even when we're too busy to keep generating leads, we're too busy to handle the leads that are even coming in. We're going to keep generating the leads and do our best to just continue to grow kind of the price per square foot average, or particularly the market share percentage of a particular neighborhood that we wanted to be experts in. And so we just grew the market share slowly but surely. And so now we're able to, coasting looks different than I think what most people do. We stay committed to the timeless best practices. And when you serve your sellers well and your buyers, you naturally continue to grow your sphere of influence, because you're reaching out to try and generate off-market opportunities for your buyer. You're aggressively promoting your seller, which gets your name out there. So neighbors are calling you. And so it's just a natural byproduct of being committed to the timeless best practices to have success,
Yeah.
breed the success. Well, I would actually say that might be an area where some might say we're stronger than most, and some would probably say we're way weaker, because the softwares that we have leveraged aggressively to their fullest capacity as best we possibly can has been Google Workspace. So we are, like, our CRM is a Google spreadsheet that we've coded. Now, of course, we have like Follow Up Boss, and like, we have CRMs. The bread and butter, like, I think a lot of people will just pay for the tech and kind of like not do much with it. So we kind of had the mindset of, like, until we're maximizing the benefit from the tech that's available to us through, Apple with Siri, and reminders, and Google with Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, Google Drive. Like, these are super available assets that can be leveraged towards great productivity. And so we've tried really hard to leverage those well. But we've got some, like, we do have Follow Up Boss, but personally, I suck at using it. I don't really log into it. I should be better about it, but it's kind of like I instead have natural systems built in that keep more authentic connection and purposeful connection. So like where Follow Up Boss has the capacity to do that as well. We just kind of had already set up certain systems and drip campaigns even within our own Google account. So essentially, some of the softwares that I do want to speak to is like we do use send out cards. So like, for everyone's birthday after they've closed or their kid's birthday, if we get their information, we'll add it. So they get birthday brownies from us, home anniversary letters, Christmas cards. And then we're also using a couple of other softwares like Fellow and HomeBot so that whenever somebody is closed or if we just know that where they live, they receive an update about market prices, neighborhood valuations, anytime something sells in their neighborhood, that kind of stuff.
What about creating content? Do you guys spend much time doing that?
Well, have you gotten a chance to take a look at our pages?
I've been on the website. Yep.
I think we spend maybe too much time working on the content creation. It's so much fun, but it's I think it's pretty easy to mistake activity for achievement. And just because you're getting a lot of likes and views doesn't mean you're getting a lot of dollars and deals. So we try to create as much content as we can that's valuable to like promoting a property. And I think where I'm wanting to see a little more improvement from myself and from our team is content that truly creates value for the end user that also generates leads. Most of our content is like a lot of fun, and I think naturally it does help us because people enjoy getting to know us. That helps them to like us, and hopefully that will also enhance their trust in us because they see that we're doing deals and we're a very reliable team to produce the results. I just think that there's people who are doing it better than me on like generating content that generates leads, like specific call to action, like comment sold for a free whatever. Like those are things that we've just kind of taken more of a do what you would want done for you. If you were a person scrolling, what would you want to see? I don't always want to be sold. I want to laugh. So we try to create content that puts a smile on people's faces.
Is there anything you work on right now that you feel like maybe this kind of is what we just answered, but something that takes a lot of your time that doesn't generate revenue?
I think that, um, I mean, it's kind of a tricky answer, but like working on the business is a necessary and valuable thing to do. But at the end of the day, I think there's certain things you got to do to work in the business and, hopping on the phones and sending the emails and, going to show the houses and master the scripts for the listing appointment. Like there are those kind of best practices. And so sometimes it feels like I'm working so much on teaching my support squad how to be more supportive to me and or our team, training new agents that are eager to learn and have a lot of questions but don't have a lot of deals going to justify the amount of time that we're spending teaching them things that we try to take more of a discipleship style training where it's like if you're wondering how to handle a buyer, go bring me a buyer and then let's sit down with them and we'll do the deal together, and you take as many notes and ask questions and we'll find out how we can do better. And there's great training available to them, of course, but at the end of the day, I think most people learn by doing. And we can give them all the books and read all the material and talk through it. But at the end of the day, it's how you actually engage the client and do the work. So doing that, we try to do that. It's kind of a I do, you shadow me, we do, which is kind of like we're kind of sharing, talking through like here's that next step. Do you want to do it this time? I'll help you correct the language on it. I'll help you. And then you do. So it's I do, we do, you do. And on that you do, it's you got to do it right. And we're gonna. But even if it's on the I do section, there's opportunities for improvement. So after every meeting, we ask the question, what did we do well? What could we have done better? And we try to have humility in how we operate so we can constantly improve. So every deal we do is better. We get better every deal.
That's good. We work with some realtors and they use AI. Have you guys embraced AI at all?
We have. We've probably lost about, I don't know, probably 80 grand investing in different AI models and softwares and services. And I think there's some elements of it that we have found great success with, and there's some that have been a significant waste of time, energy, and money. And I think the first thing I want to say whenever someone asks me that's from the real estate industry, about leveraging AI is please don't depend on AI to do the certain roles that are imperative that they are done by an expert and someone that has actually physically been to a property, particularly in the subject of like writing listing descriptions, and which, if you can equip it with all the correct data and then fine tune it and work with AI, I think that's great. But I think a lot of realtors are just getting a listing agreement, putting in the address and saying, write me a property description. And it's wrong. Like it's like, it's inaccurate. It is unhelpful. It is fluff, and it's a detriment to our industry, because the more we use AI, the more the public could just use AI. And if that's the standard that we're performing at, then it just becomes more available to the public, and there's less of a barrier of entry to hold true to a quality of service that we need to stay committed to. We try to say, like, use it, don't abuse it. You got to do the right thing to follow through on it and make sure it's done accurately, correctly.
Right.
So what we have done that's been really cool, a couple of things. One is like when online leads come in that are particularly during off hours, it's like automatically texting them. And we had it going where it would call them for a while, but we're having more issues with that. So it's just texting and emailing until we get like an appointment set. And that's nice because paying ISAs to work 24/7 is kind of costly. So having a robot available to at least reach out has been helpful. And they might not even know that it's a robot. But then two, probably my favorite thing we've done with AI is I've coded a chatbot with all of our teams, policies, procedures, Rackley rules, which is what we call our like team values. It's got basically our entire playbook, our Rackley recommends list, which is the preferred vendors. It's got all of our scripts. And so if you're, up in a situation trying to get advice, you can always check we call it Chase, the Chase bot. It's CHAISE. So it's got the AI in it. We thought that was pretty fun. And it's a chance to ask the questions that you might need help with that sometimes can be answered more quickly and more clearly even than I would be able to go and type a text to answer. Or if I'm not able to have the phone call about it, it's such a helpful tool to, hey, what should I say to this seller when they ask me this question? Or what's a creative financing option when this is the terms of this, or the situation of the buyer and this is the situation of the seller? What are who's the best painter for this zip code? Instead of just using Zillow or Google, it actually knows like who does the good work, because a lot of these best painters aren't the best at online presence. So there's things that the chatbot can't do unless you do a unique coding where it's equipped with your data and your policies and your procedures. And so that's been something that's really been helpful to me and to our team. We've not really opened it up to the public necessarily. It's more of a private tool, but I am getting my 10:30 to walk in.
Okay.
Anything else before I have to head out?
No, I think you're far from the most people. I can follow up with an email with a couple questions if you have to go. But I appreciate your time, Chase.
Man, yeah, I appreciate you, Scott. Thanks for having me.